most people think of luck as something they can't control, but you can in fact control your level of luck. If you're in any industry, if you want to get lucky in your industry, understand what are the pain. The bigger the pain, the bigger the solution. Coming from engineering, I think at that time I was making $65,000 per year. I remember I would get my paycheck after all the taxes. It was like around $4,000 a month. My first paycheck in real estate, $8,000. And I showed the client maybe 10 different properties. I just sat there looking at that check. I was like, I don't feel like I earned this money. I felt like I didn't work hard enough or deliver enough value to earn this money. Everyone talks about finding your passion, which is great, but passion without money is called a hobby.
Welcome to another episode of the Millionaire Realtor podcast. I'm your host, Oba Okusanya. And today I have with me someone who I've known for a number of years. Actually, we met in university, right? So this is somebody who's become a friend, a realtor. He's my realtor, actually, at this point. But I'm excited to have with me on the podcast today, realtor, co-founder of Parle. This is the Parle restaurant in Ottawa. This guy is one of the most active and most successful realtors in the Ottawa space in the span of God knows how many years. Like, his story is incredible. But anyways, help me welcome none other than David Wen to the Millionaire Realtor podcast. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Oba.
Yeah. Looking back at your journey, at least the portion of it that I know, all I know is we were in school studying civil engineering. And like, I feel like I didn't hear from you for like about 2 years. And then next thing I knew was David's a realtor. Like, what happened in that space between you graduating? Did you even work as a civil engineer, or like what happened?
Yeah. So when I was in school, I was always very interested in investments. So as a student, you don't have a big amount of money to start any businesses or invest in heavy assets. So I was reading about stock markets at first. And I got into marijuana stocks at the peak of the market. And I actually worked at Tweed when I was in engineering my last year as a co-op. Um, I was managing the construction of their multi-billion-dollar plants in Smith Falls. So every day I would walk into the office and people's mood would change based on the stock price. Canopy Growth Corporation. So when the stock was doing well, it was very good vibe. Everyone was happy. And then when the stock would drop, it's very speculative. So every day it's either happy or depressing.
Yeah.
And that kind of got me my first exposure into investment and how there's other ways to make money than your main job. So I got into that, and then through investment, I started going to networking events. My first networking events was Ottawa Real Estate Association events. I would go there and just listen to these people who own 50 units, 100 units. It seems so far out of reach to me. I thought I can't even relate because their problems were so different than mine. I was just trying to graduate. And then as I started to dwell more into real estate, I started reading books, listen to the Bigger Pocket podcast, watch a lot of YouTube videos, and buy books about real estate, how to flip houses, how to do door knocking. So after I graduated, my first year, I worked in engineering consulting at a firm called DST. I worked there for a year, working on LRT project, center block project, and multiple others. And then from that point on, as I was working, I bought 3 houses within 1 year after graduating in 2019, through lessons that I learned from podcasts, books throughout university that I would remember from, through joint ventures, personal finance, and leveraging your existing cash flow of your real estate assets. So obviously 2019 is right before the market peaked.
Yeah.
I got a little bit lucky. And now most of my investment have doubled in value in 2025. But my fundamentals for investment at that time was purely based on cash flow. So if the market just went increased at the standard 4% per year, I would have been happy with. Um,
Mm,
I just wanted to for each property to net $1,000 to $2,000 positive per month in my pocket.
mm.
That was my investment philosophy at that time in real estate.
Wow, bro, that's I mean, it's crazy because looking back now, someone might look at you and think, oh, like you sort of knew exactly what you wanted to do coming out of university, but clearly that's not the case. So was it like you just like, because yes, you said you were reading books, were watching, listening, watching podcasts and all that stuff, but was it that engineering just wasn't satisfying anymore, or like you just didn't see yourself doing that? You know what I mean?
Like, are you asking what motivated the switch and what was my guiding principle behind that switch?
Yeah, yeah. Or was it just like I want to make more money and I want to be free?
100%. So I had a quarter life crisis in my second year of university.
Okay.
I think I was like 18 or 19 at that time. A lot of people have these fundamental life questions later on in life, like when they're
Hmm.
doing very well in their career. I had that very early on when I had nothing.
Hmm.
And it just made me made me very curious about what I wanted to do, because going into engineering, my dad was an engineer and I was good at math and I was Asian. So it's kinda like you're either a doctor, engineer, or a lawyer. And
Yeah.
that's kind of all I knew. So there was kind of the default mode. And I never stopped to question like what did I actually wanna do? And I realized I actually really like helping people.
Hmm.
I like being free. And I like to make other people happy. And I realized later in business, the best way to make someone happy is just help them make a lot of money.
Hmm. Facts. Facts.
Everyone will love you if you help them make a lot of money. It's just
Yeah.
no, and and I realized that supersedes religion, belief, and anything else. Whether and any culture, you're Chinese, you're Indian, you're African, you're
Yeah.
you're Jewish. If you help someone make a lot of money, they instantly like you.
Exactly.
You like by other people. It is my mission to help people make a lot of money, and doing so in a slow, get rich slow way. And
Hmm.
and there's a lot of things on the internet that guarantee you success at a very fast pace. But that the trade-off that they don't tell you is there's often high levels of risk assessed. So what I love about real estate is over the last 50 years in Canada, the market only dropped 3 out of those 50 years for
Okay.
real estate.
Yeah.
You have the Great Depression, 2008 US housing crash.
Yeah.
And right after COVID, after it one jump like crazy, the correction.
Hmm.
So those are the only period that real estate dropped. And over the last 50 year on average, almost every other year it went up. So real estate was a good alignment, and that just caused me to do a bit more research in that. And I wanted to be in control of my own time. There was in engineering, I really like working on the big project, talking to clients, going to site. What I didn't like was sitting down until like 7 p.m. every day writing reports. That was
Yeah.
very dreadful to me.
Yeah.
It was a pain. I find that there's two main drivers for most people, two big motivators. Number one is pleasure, and number
Hmm.
two is pain. People take action from pleasure and from pain, but the the motivation to take action on pain is stronger than motivation on pleasure, right?
Hmm. Okay.
And from talking to many people over the last couple years in business, I've kind of confirmed confirmed these theories. So to go back to your question, the main reason that I had to switch was from the main reason I had to switch from engineering to real estate was I wanted freedom. I wanted to build something that I would be proud of, leave a legacy,
Yeah.
and help other people make a lot of money in a slow, consistent way
Yeah.
while exposing them to minimal risk, benchmark to most other types of business or investments out there.
Yeah. No, bro, that's that's amazing, and I like the way you simplified it in the sense that like it wasn't some big lofty goal. It's like I just enjoy making people happy, and and I found the best way to do that is to make them money. So you know what? I'm gonna go into real estate because it's a great vehicle to do that without, of course, exposing them to much risk, like you said. But I want to piggyback off of something you touched on earlier. You said how the biggest motivation for people is usually pleasure or pain, but pain is a stronger motivator, right? Um, how have you used that in your journey, and like how have you used that in your businesses as well? Like, are you constantly trying to identify pain points for customers? Like, I mean, like how has that helped you? How has that philosophy sort of helped you?
Let's take an example, real estate specifically. Um, in Ottawa, there's a lot of empty nesters. That means older folks with houses that are too big for them, that they
Mm,
don't have the energy to take care, and they don't need all that space, and they're dreading. And they're dreading living in a house that used to be their home, but now is no longer a good match.
mm,
As a realtor, we're matchmakers, and people who are downsizing, they need to find something else smaller to buy. uh, from helping hundreds of downsizers, our experience has been that right now the top preferences is either a condo with one level, no stairs.
okay.
Downsizers hate stairs. Stairs
Yeah.
is enemy. Stairs and driveway with a big slope because in the winter it's very slippery.
Exactly.
Getting into the details, but uh, just a fun fact for downsizers. So you either the top two choice is either bungalow or a condo. Uh,
Hmm.
from that, one of the biggest pain for downsizers is packing because they've been
Wow.
in a place for sometimes 20, 30 years. You have
Yeah.
years worth of memory. You start packing, you see pictures of your daughter, uh, and then you spend the next 4 hours talking to your 80-year-old husband about all the memories from
Yeah.
like a souvenir from Disneyland 20 years. Like it's just it's almost it's very very difficult to pack. So what we've done in business to help them and help our team deliver faster, uh, better, and more consistent service is we send them a moving kit with boxes of different size, bubble wrap, all that kind of stuff for free, so they can move faster,
Hmm.
and and seeing the boxes, it triggers mentally that, hey, I think I need to start packing today.
Yeah.
Every day they're constantly reminded, and it makes their move a lot easier because they want to move.
Hmm.
They want someone to push them, and their kids want them to move too. A lot of the time, it's the kids that really want to downsize because the kids know that their parents can't take care of their house, so the kids reach out to us, say, "Hey, what can you do to push my parents to downsize because they need it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They know they need it, they just can't do it." So so the plots we you can talk about how nice it'll be to be in a smaller place. We can also talk about what are the pains they have, which is moving, the maintenance of their house, which is a big one,
Mm.
from snow removal to lawn to cleaning inside the house. So so we take their pain points and we bridge that with contractors to help them move. We have companies that help them pack. We have a whole network of partners that helps us and our client achieve their goal, so
Okay.
that you eliminate the biggest stressors of downsizing.
Yeah. So that's beautiful because I mean, even thinking about it now, and like if yeah, like you're sort of removing all the friction along the way to get them to that endpoint as quick as possible, right? And that's really important in the business because like time is money, right? And especially when there's deals that have already been signed and there's deadlines involved, you know. There's something I'm gonna pivot here a little bit, David. There's something that I know that your team at Upward Realty does really well,
Up
and
realty,
Up Realty, is it Up Realty?
up realty, yeah.
Up Realty. I don't know why I thought it was Upward. I don't know where I saw
We have
that.
an echo, so it is up.
Oh, that's what it is. It's the arrow up. Yeah, Up Realty. There's something I noticed that your team does really well. It's these closing day gifts. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, "What is David doing?" Like like you guys have the huge sign, and then you buy like TVs and coffee machines, and I'm like, bro, is David running a business, or is this a giveaway? Like, what's going on here? But I took a deeper look at it, and I'm like, oh, I see it. But I want you to explain it from your perspective. This
Yeah,
idea, this idea of going above and beyond for your clients, and even giving even away much more? Like, where does that stem from, and why do you do it?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start from the beginning, how we started that at first. So coming from engineering, I think at that time I was making $65,000 per year,
Hmm.
and I was the highest paid junior engineer by like 25%. I was that was in 2019. It was like, obviously looking back on it, it's not a huge amount of money,
Yeah.
but back then in 2019, and with the experience level I had, it was a lot.
Oh, for sure.
And then I remember I would get my paycheck after all the taxes. It was like around $4,000 a month.
Hmm.
And then I was like, "Oh, I'm doing well." And then when I sold my first house, it was just a small condo townhouse. I think my paycheck was 7,000 or $8,000. So I was on my first paycheck in real estate. I made $8,000, and I showed the client maybe 10 different properties. And
Hmm.
and then I was like, I just sat there looking at that check. I was like, I don't feel like I earned this money. And I was like,
Hmm.
I felt like I didn't work hard enough or deliver enough value to earn this money, because engineer has conditioned me that, let's say I put 50 points of energy to earn
Yeah.
$5,000, and I put maybe 10 points of energy to earn 7 or 8,000. And I was like, I didn't feel good. I felt good. I was happy that I got the money, but
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't deserve it. So I
Mm.
was like, okay, how do I get rid of this feeling that um I didn't earn it? I had imposter syndrome.
Mm.
So I was like, I'm gonna give my clients a bunch of gift, right? I'm gonna give back to the client, so I
Yeah.
feel good about myself. And I did earn that money. So I bought him a bunch of gift. I brought it to him, and he was absolutely shocked, because most realtor gives a bottle of wine and got like smart home, some like smart cameras and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got it to him, brought it to him. I was like, hey bro, this is for you. He looked at me. He's like, what? No, I can't take this. I'm like, yeah, it's sorry. It's part of my way to thank you for trusting me with the biggest purchase of your life. And
Hmm.
I insist that this means a lot to me. And then he accepted that. And I went home. I'm like, wow, this is great. I feel good now.
Yeah.
Then actually I started thinking back, and then I remember how happy I made him, and that actually tripled my happiness. I was like,
Mm.
whoa, this is the best day of my life. The worst day of my life was making that money. The best day of my life was giving a big chunk of that away to the client, give back,
Wow.
right? And then
Wow.
that client ended up referring me 3 other business. I was like, wait a second,
Okay.
I can I can give back, grow my business, and be very happy. I think I
Wow.
just unlocked a cheat code in life, right? So then I just turned it into my process. So we have two types of clients, for sellers and for buyers.
Yeah.
So for sellers, the way we give back is we do free staging, we do free drone shots, social media. A lot of agents will charge the client $1,000 to $2,000 for staging. So our way of giving back to our seller client is to do staging for free, and if we don't sell that house, we lose $2,000. So that's the
Mm.
risk that we take on. For buyer client, since we don't have any hard costs, just our time and gas and maybe some client meals, we choose to do the gift, and then we'll give a percent based on the size of the house they purchase. We'll give a percentage of that. Now, 60-70% of our business is built on referrals. So there's two ways you can grow your business in real estate. You can run a lot of ads, or have a really good relationship with your clients and
Mm.
and deliver outstanding service, so they refer you business. I think,
Yeah.
but you connected me with a couple clients too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate that a lot. That's really like the core of our business. We don't really run ads. Whatever money we would have spent on ads, we just give it back to our client in terms of client appreciation event and stuff like that. Yesterday we had a pumpkin patch event where we rented an entire farm with pumpkins, and we paid for everything. Um, I think the event ran us 5 to 10K,
Mm.
and that's our way to invite all our clients, give back. They can have free pumpkin, free tractor rides, free horseback riding, free gifts, a draw. So we kind of invest in relationship to our clients, and our clients are very happy that the relationship doesn't end after they get the keys to their house, but
Yeah.
actually the relationship is just beginning. And
Mm.
anytime we help a client buy a house, I'm telling you, hey, we're in business for life now.
Yeah.
Anytime after the house, the roof leaks, the plumbing breaks, windows, there's issue with your windows, your furnace doesn't turn on in the winter, We're one call away. We have a long list of contractors that we built. Literally anything in the house, we have someone. If we don't do it directly, we have someone that can do it, and we have the prices pre-negotiated. So you're paying below
Wow.
market price. So it's like a lifelong relationship and peace of mind when they buy from us.
Yeah. David, I mean, it's a win-win for sure. But I think there's the aspect of you're actually building a community as well, which is insane because I would have never thought a real estate company, you know, will end up building a community as like a byproduct of its business. And clearly you're all about the people and you're all about that impact. So it's definitely a win-win. That's amazing. And of course, I like the fact that you didn't start it thinking it was going to play out that way.
No, I was
You just started it from a standpoint of I want to be happy.
yeah. So that is about recognizing opportunities. And
Mhm.
there's one theory I learned that changed the way I make decisions in business. About 2-3 years ago, I learned about the 4 levels of luck. So one wants to get lucky. When you do well in business, oh, I got lucky. When you do well, oh, that's just unlucky. Most people think of luck as something they can't control, but you can in fact control your level of luck.
Mm.
Let me explain how. There's 4 levels of luck. Number one is blind luck. So that means you buy a lottery ticket, you win.
Mm.
Pure chances. I hope not people don't gamble, but let's say you go to casino, you put your entire monthly paycheck on red, you get it. It's just blind luck. Right? You didn't actually do anything to do that. Number two, it's called intentional luck. So that means you want to get a higher paying job. You apply to 10 jobs, you get rejected by
Mhm.
10 jobs, and then you apply to 100 jobs, right? So you create your own luck. You increase the percentage of success by putting more work.
Mm.
Number three is r- recognition luck. That means once you've met a lot of people in a certain industry, you see the trend, you have access to insider information. Let's say I'm
Yeah.
a realtor. Every time I send a property to my client, I see it first.
Mhm.
House that I live in, I bought in 2023. It's a single family detached double car garage house in one of the best neighborhoods in Ottawa. I bought it for, guess how much?
500K.
500K? It was 600. But
Okay.
in this area, houses go for around 800.
Yeah.
Um, so it was actually a house that I showed a client. And
Oh.
like his name was Lawrence. I'm like, hey Lawrence, I think this is a great buy. It's one of the cheapest I've seen on this in this prime area um in the last couple of years. You should buy it. He's like, no, it's nice, but it needs too much work. Because it was in a street
Mm.
that was very, very outdated. There was some old carpet, smell of smoke. So I'm like, hey, if you don't want to buy it, I always leave the best deal to my client first, right? If I
Yeah.
told them, like, if you don't want to take it, I'll take it. And he didn't
Mhm.
believe me. He thought I was just trying to sell him the house. He's like, okay, you buy it then. He goes, I'm not trying to be a racist, but he has a deep voice. Like, okay, you buy it then, David. And then I call him 2 weeks later. Hey, Lawrence, remember that house I showed you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I bought it. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I told you I'd buy it because it's a good deal, but I want you to take first dibs because I don't want to compete with my own clients. So anyway, I bought that and I bought it for 600K, and one had a closing for 3 months. By the
Mhm.
time I got the keys, I had 100K equity because another house similar just sold for 700K. So
Wow.
I had 100K of equity before I even got the keys, and any bank would have been happy to lend me that money, even
Mhm.
though I didn't make it, and I could use that to do renovations or anything. I ended up tearing down the entire house and rebuilding everything from scratch. So,
Wow.
if you're ever in Ottawa, I'm happy to show you. It's
Yeah,
so
would love to come by, man. Yeah, that's incredible.
yeah. So that's the third level of luck. It's recognition. You get lucky by recognizing opportunity because you have experience.
Mm.
And for this in this example, I recognized that it was at the time I purchased it was around 50K on under market.
Yeah.
And then when I put the offer and when I got the keys, it was about 100K of equity. And today this house is worth around 1.1 million.
Wow.
So it's
That's
about
crazy.
recognizing opportunity. And sometimes opportunities is in front of your face, but because you don't recognize it, the opportunity was never really there for you to reach. So
Mm-hmm.
it's about increasing your network, increasing your knowledge, improving your mindset, and knowing when to take action when the opportunity is in front of you. Because
Mm-hmm.
most people, they have so many good opportunities literally knocking at the door every day, but they're so focused on their own narrow vision that they never see the opportunity and take action to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the Lord giving you a gift covered in gold and you're saying no thank you. Right? And that's what most people do. So that's the third level of luck. The fourth level of luck is, now we're getting pretty crazy. The fourth level of luck is attraction. That
Mm.
means, similar how you said, I built a community um, from a real estate business where it's usually just one to one, but I have a lot of people who follow me, see what I do, and many people, I get about one message a month saying, "Wow, I've been following your journey for the last 3 years." People I've never talked to, right? They reach out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been following your journey for the last 3 years. And what I do on social media is I don't post, I don't try to go viral. I just document my journey. And
Mm.
people like that. Right? They see what I do and it's unfiltered. I actually don't really proofread most of the stuff I post. So there's actually a lot of typos. My girlfriend actually, I'm like, what did I mean to say? I just document and I don't really care what, like, people who really know me, and that's all that matters to me. I don't
Yeah.
really care what other people think. And it's a good position to be in. I don't care. I can just be myself. I don't
Yeah.
need to talk to anyone I don't enjoy, and I don't need to do anything I don't want to in order to
Mm-hmm.
make money. And that's a really strong feeling. So going back to the fourth level of luck, on the fourth level, luck is attraction. That means after you build a community, you don't need to chase opportunity as much. Like in the second level, you have to
Yeah.
go out there constantly to chase. In the fourth level, opportunity comes to find you. Opportunity comes to find you. What
Mm-hmm.
To give you an example, I have a team of 10, 10 people on my real estate team now.
Okay.
Have in-house contractors. We have a whole remote team in the Philippines, doing all our back end and marketing and administrative work. And I have a business partner as well. In total, we have 10 agents. And the last year, we've done over 250 transactions for our clients, and we're
Wow.
top 0.1% in Ottawa right now. And
Wow.
as a 18-month-old team, we're just over a year old. We're 18 months old. We're number 2 in the biggest brokerage in Ottawa. Um,
Wow.
the number 1 team is 10 years old. So we're still young. We still don't have all our stuff figured out, but we're excited that we don't know exactly how's it gonna look in 2 years. And everyone
Mm.
is young, like late 20s, early 30s. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's just starting out, like
Yeah.
there's a limit. So actually, in terms of attraction, I've only recruited one person on my side of the team.
Mm.
um, I just wanted a buyer agent to help my clients show house because I travel a lot
Yeah.
and I didn't want to lower the level of service when I'm traveling. So I wanted someone always on the ground in Ottawa available to show house for my clients when I was traveling. So I just wanted one person. And because everyone saw what I was doing with the closing gift, and whenever I do closing gift, I like to take a little video to capture the
Yeah.
client's genuine reaction.
Yeah.
I think that is better than any money you can spend on Facebook ads. Like,
Mm.
people genuinely happy uh, when they're receiving gifts. It's like Christmas and their birthday combined. Like, you can't recreate that feeling. And when people see that, it's a happy feeling. It's exciting. It's fun, right? We don't take ourselves very seriously. There's a lot of realtor who are very stuck up, unfortunately. But we don't, like, we can laugh at ourselves. We'll do silly videos. The only
Yeah.
I haven't done yet is doing silly dances to sell a house. But I have a lot of people on my team that are way better dancer than me. So really, it's in the client's best interest.
Yeah.
I don't. So so lastly, for attraction, I've recruited one agent, and everyone else came to me,
Mm-hmm.
um, because they wanted to get behind the mission,
Mm.
uh, that I have to help clients finding their upside in every deal, which is our
Mm.
slogan,
Yeah.
and to create wealth, and connect people through real estate. I've traveled to over 20 different countries personally where I met realtors and successful business people. So you want someone in the Philippines, I can connect you tomorrow,
Huh.
right? With someone, let's say one day I want to import maple syrup from Canada to the Philippines. That person might not know who to contact, but I might not know who to contact, but that person does. So
Exactly.
all of a sudden, I just need a really good opportunity and I can make it blow up globally
Hmm.
because of the infrastructure I've already built. And and when I built those, it's not like I knew what I was gonna do. I just wanted to meet very smart people that I wanted to learn from who will have more experience than me, and
Hmm.
that grew to a lot more. Like in Philippines, for example, his name is Steve. He's a key master license holder for all of Keller Williams franchise
Hmm.
in the Philippines. And when we went there, like he's we came to the airport, he sent his private driver, took us around, and every day we're hanging out with him, his family, and his employees to learn
Hmm.
about Philippine real estate. We saw a development project. They took us to live seafood restaurants in the evening. Like,
Yeah.
these kind of relationships, they were made possible by real estate. So to kind of recap at the four levels of luck, number one is blind luck. Number two, it's uh intentional luck or pursuit. Number three is opportunistic. You just recognize opportunity.
Hmm.
Four, it's attraction. So you can just attract luck. Luck comes to you, and you just keep an open mind and an open heart, and
Yeah.
and it will take care of itself.
Did you know that over 70% of you who watch this podcast are not subscribed? Some people have even told me they were shocked when they realized they were not subscribed yet. So if you're enjoying this and you're back for more, I would love for you to take 2 seconds and hit the subscribe button. It's completely free, and honestly, it's the best way for you to support all that we're building here at the Many Roads. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, join our community, and let's keep growing together. Now, David, I like, so this is the thing. I think the fact that we're even saying it's luck is making people feel like it's still chance. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And based off of what you're saying you can control these things. Like your input can actually have a direct impact on the output. Whereas a lot of people are, you know how people say hope is not a strategy, right? Like, which is sort of that first level where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy a lottery ticket and hope that I win. But like, that's not a strategy. But what you're saying is you can be more intentional about, like, by going up the levels, about like building relationships and networking, and there's something I want to point out is the fact that you said when you originally sort of connect with these people, it's not like I'm connecting with you in the sense that one day an opportunity is going to come and I might need your help. It's just I'm just connecting with you because you're a great person and I'd like to learn from you or talk to you, right? For anyone who's listening to this who's in business or watching this who's in business, what are some of the practical ways that, yes, your real estate, your niche is real estate, but maybe they're in healthcare or, they're merchants, whatever it is, they're in software. Like, what are some of the practical ways that you would say they can apply this to growing their business or growing whatever it is that they do?
Um, how they can apply the four levels of luck? Well, I would say talk to some insiders of your industry.
Mm,
Um, let's say you're in your healthcare, right? Maybe shoot a message if you have personal connection. That's even better. But if not, try to connect with the director of a hospital, right?
mm,
Or who can try to understand the macro trend of your business. So right now, I'm spending about 3 to 5 hours every day in my business just learning about AI and
mm,
automation. Yeah. I'm trying to use AI and automation to solve all the problems I have in my real estate business and my restaurant business.
yeah.
Um, and once I solve my problem, I can copy and paste the solution and sell that. All of a sudden, I have an AI automation company, right? Did I
Yeah.
set out to do that? No,
No.
I see a problem, and a big problem that is costing small to medium sized business owners a lot of money. I create a solution that's really for myself out of
Uh-huh.
self needs, but out of altruistic need, I can provide that solution to other people and build a company around that. But at the core, you need to figure out the problems. So if you're in any industry, if you want to get lucky in your industry, understand what are the pain. The bigger
Mm.
the pain, the bigger the solution. And not every pain is worth solving, right?
Okay. Okay.
If you don't really need money and you're well off, or you your main goal is just to add value, that's fine. But you need to sustain yourself first. If you have to worry about rent and you're spending most of your weekend doing charity work, not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you
Mhm.
figure out because your wife or husband might not be happy that you're
Should
stressing out,
go
but
get a job.
you're helping other people, right?
Yeah.
But you want to help other people, make sure you take care of yourself and your family. It's like
Mm.
it's like when you're on an airplane, they always tell you put your own oxygen mask first before helping your kid, right?
Exactly.
Because you put his on, then you're out of the picture. He's good,
Yeah.
right? So make sure you have a solid foundation first, and then to that point, understand the pains of your industry, the biggest pains, specifically which pains other companies would consider paying you to resolve and remove,
Mm.
right? Because pain is a bigger motivator than pleasure, right?
Yeah.
And AI is a huge space, but there's so many opportunities right now. For the last about 12 months, there's just been so many opportunities that I've been seeing that could be a great business, that it's no longer a matter of which what are the opportunities. It's like, okay, I see 10 opportunities, but I only have time and mental energy for two.
Mm.
Which one is the best fit for me based on my skill, passion, and interest, and overall business potential that I can invest my time and energy into? That's the new question that I'm asking every day, because I get distracted very easily. And if I don't try to focus, I'm I'm gonna be spread way too thin.
Mm.
So it's an exciting time we live in. And for people who want to grow in their industry, find out what are the biggest pain and how you can potentially use AI to create solutions. It's becoming kind of a buzzword, but focus less on implementing AI and more about the core problem that you can solve in your industry. And AI is just a tool, like a knife for a chef, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah. Bro, I absolutely agree. It's something that like even in my personal circles that I'm constantly talking about where it's like it feels like the .com sort of era, 2000s whatever, but this time this feels like the future. Like but except like it's now.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are afraid of, oh, I don't want to lose my job, but I'm like that should be like the least of your concerns. Like right now it should be like just looking for opportunities that you can take advantage of and just get into get into something else. But I want to talk about something different here for a moment, David. You mentioned you have a team of 10 people.
That's right.
Managing people can be challenging, and I wanted to talk to you about like leadership. Like, what is your perspective on leadership? How do you manage? Because I mean, you're managing different people from different backgrounds, different personalities. Yes, we have a common goal. We're trying to help our clients, but like, still, it's a lot of people to manage. And it's not like you came from a background where like you were already a manager in engineering or something. You've had to learn quickly. So, what is your perspective on leadership, and how have you sort of taken on this task of now, okay, now I'm a leader?
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's a great question. So, in terms of leadership and industry specific um, concepts of leadership, I had a big I had a big discovery about 2 years ago. So at first, I thought I was in the real estate business, but 2 years ago, I realized I'm not in the real estate business. I'm in the
Hmm.
people business.
Okay.
People business, because I have three clients. And as a team lead for a big real estate team, I have three clients.
Hmm.
Number one, my actual clients, the people who transact, the buyers and sellers and the renters. Number two, my team members. They are my
Hmm.
clients. I treat my team members the same way I treat my clients. We Whenever they have like 1 year anniversary, we bring cake, we bring popper, I take them to go kart. I build a culture and show them that I appreciate them the same way I appreciate my clients, because
Hmm.
that's so important. And it's a lot of times like when I heard that my team member hang out like between them, like
Mhm.
just for fun, it made me so happy. I was like, wow, I actually made like people are friends. They're not just here to work together. They're actually
Yeah.
friends. And through a connection that I created, and that made me extremely happy. And lastly, I have another group of client, which is my backend staff. So
Mm.
people in marketing, admins, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people, they think of their admins as just someone that pushes paperwork, but I tell them like, hey, I have a lot of business ideas. I need a strong backend so that today we're selling houses, maybe tomorrow we're selling private jets,
Mhm.
maybe the next day we're selling islands, right? Who knows?
Exactly.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I want good people to be with me that have 100% buy-in. And to my admins in the Philippines, I'm paying them maybe 1.5 to 2x the market rate over there. This is
Mhm.
good salary. And I tell them, hey, you do a good job for us. I only have one condition for you. You take care of my business like it's your business,
Mhm.
and I'll hire you for life. Every year you're gonna get automatic pay raise. And if
Mhm.
you make enough money, we're only a 1-year-old team, so we're still very young. But
Yeah.
once you have enough money, I want to get you health insurance. In the Philippines, I I approach it not just, oh, I'm just gonna pay you X amount of dollar per hour. I'm like, no, why do you need money for? You want to
Mhm.
raise, what are you going to use that money for, right? They're like, oh, because my dad has cancer and I can't afford the cancer treatment. So I need a raise to cover his healthcare costs.
Mhm.
Wait a second, right? I can do a lot more than just pay you. What
Mhm.
if I dig deeper and solve your problems for you? So
Mhm.
because as we're growing, we have more people, um, we can get a group benefit plan. I want to provide healthcare to my virtual assistants in the Philippines.
Yeah.
No realtor does that. Like literally zero, right?
Mhm.
People don't think that way. But I'm like, okay, I want to build a company for life. If I want your buy-in for life, I need to show you that your problem. I say that your problems are my problem, but I need to show it through action.
Mhm.
What I'm doing, right? And a lot of times, people over there they live paycheck by paycheck. Like in Canada, you complain that you live paycheck by paycheck, but that's because you're spending most of your money at Joey's or Three Brewers, right?
Mhm.
Fridays. Over there, people are actually living paycheck by paycheck while living frugally, right?
Mhm.
Just because cost of living has their inflation is even worse than Canada, uh,
Yeah.
and they really live paycheck by paycheck. Sometimes they have a small emergency that's very difficult to cover. So I'm even bouncing the idea of, okay, if we have enough virtual assistants, uh, maybe we partner with a lender, we can create a little community fund, a bank that people can borrow from with
Yeah.
no interest. We're not talking about a lot of money, maybe one
Mhm.
or 2,000 Canadian shared between like 5 people, right?
Exactly.
And then whatever they put in, I'll match it, right?
Mhm.
And then people can borrow that. They just have 1 month to put it back, and then they're kind of helping each other with money, uh, without paying any interest.
Yeah.
So solving their healthcare problem and their financial problem, right? So I think in terms of leadership, it's important to have a deep understanding of people's pain, their motivations, and what drives them. Like I'm not just trying to build a real estate company. I'm trying to build like Jeff Bezos, he has a good saying. He says, whenever I start Amazon, I want to build 100-year-old company. Like I want this
Mhm.
to be over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And when your timeline is very long, it changes your decision than short term, because short term is just, okay, how do I pump the stock as much as I can and then I cash out, right? The long term,
Mhm.
like I want to build an entire logistics system and have people's package arrive within 12 hours when they click order, right?
Yeah.
Big audacious goals like that. And I kind of integrate that in my business and in my leadership skills so that everyone can get behind
Yeah.
a mission to help their client to deliver the most amount of service that any other realtor does. And all this costs money. Like it's very expensive to give closing gift, to give all that. It's probably one of our biggest costs. But the way I think about it is, if my costs are 30% higher than my competition, but my business is triple the size, I can have the same amount of profit while delivering better service. So then I
Exactly.
grow my business while delivering more service and inspiring more people to join along in pursuit of the same mission.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, bro. I think like it's definitely a different way of doing business, but it's clearly effective and it's clearly working because I see you guys keep winning all the awards at your brokerage dinners and all these things, right? So it's clearly working. You know, David, I was gonna ask you, like let's focus on real estate because maybe there's somebody who's in Canada right now who's contemplating on, do I purchase a property? Do I, like, is this a good time? We've seen the market shift a little, and you and I know, like, because we've been working on some other thing for some time. But um, from your perspective, is this still a good time to invest in the market? Like with everything that's going on across economies around the world,
Yes.
right? And I know you're not just gonna say yes because I'm a realtor. I'm gonna say yes. I want you to actually break it down so people see like your perspective.
For sure. When it comes to investing in real estate, it's very broad. It depends what kind of investor you are
Hmm,
and which market you're looking into. There's good deals in good market or bad market.
hmm,
And you have to be, when you're talking about investing, you you really need to have a deep understanding of what you're looking to get out of that investment. Um, Most investors fall into two categories. One is appreciation investor and one is cash flow investor. So
hmm,
appreciation is like, okay, I buy property. I don't care if it makes money. I just wanted to increase by 25% in 3, 4 years, right?
hmm,
And then I sell it, take out the profit. So for those people, those days are it's kind of tough. For appreciation investors, there's not too many good deals that have strong uh increased potential in the near future. But let's take the Toronto condo market for example, because that's always a very controversial subject right now.
yeah.
So just some fun stats. Uh, we all love stats because they give us a rough picture for the buyer and seller sentiment on the market. Toronto condo transactions are down 90% year to year. So nothing is selling. The sellers the 10% of people who are transacting is either sellers who made so much money because they bought so early, they don't care if they're making an next 100K less because
Hmm,
they already made 300K, right? Or people who are at their ends with and need to sell ASAP because they can't afford it anymore to carry on.
hmm,
So those are the two main people selling and able to bring the price low enough to make a deal. And then you have the very small buyer pool of buyer who actually want to buy now and they're not as concerned with market price fluctuations.
hmm,
The good news with condo prices in Toronto is right now you're most likely at the bottom or within 12 months to the bottom.
hmm,
Uh, you want to buy low. Everyone knows you have to buy low, but when it's actually low, nobody actually has the guts to pull the trigger. And that's why the rich keep getting richer because
hmm.
if you have a lot of money and you lose, let's say you have 100 million, you lose 1 million, you can afford that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you have 500K and you lose 200K, you can't afford that, right? It's you don't have enough to carry. You don't have enough risk tolerance to carry. So
Hmm,
right now there's 90 how much 56% of new condo project in Toronto are canceled, and there's only 3 or 4 new condo project in Toronto that are starting in 2025. So
wow.
usually condo project take 3 to 5 years to hand over to get the
Hmm,
keys. So what that means is in 3 to 5 years, this mean no inventory because nothing was built right now, right?
hmm.
The last couple of years, because of the boom, there was an oversupply, and real
Exactly.
estate is a lagging indicator, meaning it lags the market sentiment by a couple years. So
Hmm,
most of there's every day right now there's new Toronto housing project that are completing. I have a client who are selling right now at a 200K loss on
hmm.
luxury condo they bought in Toronto. So I didn't help them buy that. That was another realtor. Clean up the mess. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of people taking massive losses. So
Hmm,
if you can weather the storm right now and you have a little bit of risk tolerance, the odds of you losing in 3 to 5 years is very slim.
hmm,
Kind of at the bottom. Like within the next 12 months, I'm not saying like pull the trigger now, but if someone is losing 200, 300K on their unit, that's your buffer. Like you have some room. And
exactly.
my investment principle is like, if after you buy, the market drops 10%, can you sleep well at night? If the answer
Uh-huh.
is no, then don't buy it. If the answer is yes,
Hmm,
then okay, you have some risk tolerance and
hmm.
you have the risk profile to make money in real estate investment.
Yeah. So essentially, what you're saying is, there is an opportunity because like we've already hit the bottom.
Um, n- we either hit the bottom now or
Mhm,
within the next 12 months. It could be a
mhm.
little bit worse, but over long term, it's good. Medium term, in the if you can hold it past the 3 to 5 year frame, it's very unlikely that it will be a bad investment because
Yeah,
Canada has had so much interest internationally in our real estate that we actually had to impose laws and regulation to ban foreign buyers from purchasing. That tells
exactly.
a lot, right? Like people are very comfortable with the Canadian market, even though our local economy may be not as strong, but our
Mm,
real estate industry is propping our entire economy. And
exactly.
and in terms of a crash, like the government is concerned about a crash because most people's retirement is tied in the equity of their house.
That's true.
So a lot of young people, they're very excited. Oh, the economy's going bad. I'm going to buy a house next year because everything's going to drop 50%. About 60-70% of equity in real estate in Canada is owned by people 50, 60, 60-year old plus. So what
Wow.
that means is if the real estate market crashed, those people all lose their main net worth, right? Their
Mhm.
net worth is going to take a huge beating. And guess who passes the regulation? The same people that own most of the market.
They're not gonna let it happen.
Who in the right mind would crash, like, pardon my French, shit where you eat, right?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So the odds of crashing is very unlikely just
Mhm.
because there's too much skin in the game. And if the real estate in Canada crashes, the dollar's going to crash. So actually,
Exactly.
it benefit anyone. Um, Now we might see corrections like up to 25, 30%, but like 50%, not saying it's impossible, but unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, bro, I like that analysis. It's hey, these are the stats, these are the numbers. You do with it what you want. But I kind of get what you're saying though, and I kind of understand like the macro trend, you know. So for anyone listening, watching, you know, that's the information. You take that and you do what you want with it. Now, David, I know you have to go shortly, so I'm gonna ask you one last question, and this is just to sort of tie up this entire conversation. In the last couple of years of you doing real estate, you're also co-founder of a restaurant business. What is the biggest mind unlock, like mindset shift that you've had that has had an impact on like profit, on revenue, on business in the last couple of years?
Um, what is your question is in terms of the restaurant business? Was my
It
what?
could be either from
Wait, do you
it could
increase profit and growth?
yeah, so it could either be from the restaurant business or from the real estate, whichever one has had the biggest impact.
Okay,
Yeah.
have you heard of a concept called the Ikigai?
Yeah, Ikigai, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, for your viewers who may not have heard of it, uh, Ikigai is a Japanese term that is, in short, called a reason for being,
Hmm.
and it's an overlap of four things. Number one, what you love. Number two, what you're good at. Number three, what the world needs, and number four, what you can get paid for.
Hmm.
So that sounds poetic, but here's the truth. Most people stop at step one or two and they chase passion without profit or they chase money without meaning. But
Hmm.
that is where sustainability meets fulfillment.
Hmm.
Um, Everyone talks about finding your passion, which is great, but passion without money is called a hobby. The Japanese have a word for doing what you love and getting paid, and ikigai is that core concept. People think ikigai is about balance, but it's not. It's about
Hmm.
alignment.
Hmm.
Love what you do, but if you suck at it, it's not ikigai. It's delusion. Chasing at something, but if the world doesn't need it, it's ego.
Hmm.
It pays well, but it drains your soul. That's paycheck, not a purpose.
That's true.
Real ikigai happens when skill, value, and love intersect. It's when Monday feels like momentum instead of misery.
Hmm.
Oh. You don't find ikigai. It won't come knocking at your door. You have to build it. And one skill, one risk at a time, one discipline at a time. Because purpose isn't something you discover, it's something you earn.
Hmm. Yeah. That's bro. That's loaded, man.
A lot of time.
Yeah, that's loaded. But anyways, we'll have to pick up this conversation some other time because I know you have other time commitments. David, it's been a pleasure having you on here. I'll put all the links to your social media and your real estate, all that stuff. I'll put that in the description. And I'm just gonna give a warning to anybody who's gonna follow you on social media. If you follow David on social media, you will be hungry because this dude is always cooking on his social media and posting food. Just a heads up.
I love it.
Well, my friend, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Oba.
That concludes my conversation with David Wen. Let me know what you think about all that we discussed: real estate, business, investment, all that stuff. So much was said. Finding passion, alignment in terms of fulfillment. So much was said. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And please comment, like I said. But also, if you are not subscribed, please do us a huge favor and subscribe to the Millionaire Realtor channel. It's your free way of supporting all that we are building here. Till next time, God bless.